Hey, beautiful people of the internet, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully great, and welcome back to some more Warframe. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 nukes in Warframe of 2022 and beyond. So I can do a part 2 to this video if I have definitely missed out on some frames. Let me know down in the comment section. But essentially, what criteria I used is basically any Warframe that can go and decimate an entire area. And I'm talking whether you're talking about high-end enemies or even low-end enemies when it comes to trash mob clearing. Nuking is still nuking at the end of the day. But before I continue with the video any further, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys would like to support me or the channel any further, remember to leave a like on the video, as this does help me out tremendously. Spot and click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos and streams. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a Discord server, so if you guys would like to go and play with me during any one of my live streams or play with me outside of YouTube, then go ahead and join the server. Without further ado, let's get this video on the road, shall we? So taking up our number 5 spot is we are going to be talking about Equinox. Now Equinox is a very powerful Warframe. Not only can she nuke the entire room, but also she offers a ton of utility, especially because of the fact that there actually is 2 individual forms, day and night. One of them is a nuke, the other one will heal. So basically, Maim will basically go and nuke an entire room, whereas the opposite of Maim will then go and heal an entire room based off of how much damage you go and store. And on top of that, I think it's the night form or the day form, I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but Equinox also does offer the ability to go and crowd control the enemies simply by putting them to sleep. Very useful, especially if you guys do have a synergy based build, which will allow you to not only put yourself invisible like Arcane Trickery can do, but also you can go and heal yourself, as will allow your teammates to not only get out of that particular sticky situation, but also you're able to go and heal them if they've got the correct loadout. Taking up our number 4 spot is Wisp. Now Wisp is a very powerful Warframe, especially because of the fact that how breach search particularly works. Basically, you're able to go and decimate an entire room, and I'm talking about your high-end enemies. Now when it comes to breach search, basically only a certain amount of weapons do work with breach search, and on top of that, if you guys are a huge favor of the way Exodia Contagion works, then Wisp is your best bet, purely because of the fact of her passive. And if you guys didn't know, while Wisp is in the air, the enemies aren't really aware of her presence. And if you guys didn't know, any form of stealth multiplier bonus goes a long way, especially when it comes to going and hitting the damage cap with Exodia Contagion. Because remember, if the enemies aren't aware with you or aren't aware of your presence, then you'll be able to go and deal massive damage, basically hitting the damage cap all the way, or if not almost all the time. Next up is we are going to be talking about Ember, and if I'm going to be honest with you guys, Ember isn't really a Warframe out there that can go and kill high-end enemies. Well, I'm sure any frame can go and kill high-end enemies, especially given the helmet system, but I'm talking about stock right here. And Ember is a very powerful Warframe, especially if you guys would like to go and clear out an entire room or trash mobs and all that, because let's be honest about one thing, nuking is still nuking, whether you're going to go and fight high-end enemies or low-end enemies. And also, I should have said this in the beginning of this video, the particular order of this video isn't really anything to do with like tier of the Warframe. It's mainly got something to do with like, hey, this is an order, here are some nuking frames. And like I said, let me know if you guys would like to see a part 2. And one thing I also do want to say is that when it comes to using Ember, yes, heat is very powerful and very potent against armor, considering how it can either deal lots of damage or you can actually go and armor strip this. And especially if you guys are living under a rock, armor stripping is very crucial if you would like to go and take out high-end enemies. Taking up our number 2 spot is we do have Vault. Now if you guys would like to have a build for Vault, I've definitely got you guys covered. There'll be a link down in the description, and of course I'll be suggesting that particular video to you guys at the top right. And don't worry, this is a budget build where we like to go and use 0 Forma without actually being as effective as other builds that do have Forma. So when it comes to Vault, he is actually a very useful Warframe, mainly because of all the fact that how useful he is. Not only is he an Eidolon Slayer, he's also a great focus farmer, and he's also very good at speed. He's not the best because Gauss is actually a lot quicker than him. Now one thing I do want to say with Vault, right, he is not really that powerful of a nuke. He isn't, because if you guys are going up against Corpus or even the Infested, fine, he will absolutely decimate them. But here's the problem with Vault. Electricity does not scale or does not do very well against armor. And that's where you'll start bumping into problems, especially when you start going into, like, you know, those missions where you go and fight the Grineer or any of the corrupted. Even though these corrupted will be low level and energy will, or electricity will then go and absolutely clear the room, you're still going to run into a problem with eventually armor will absolutely defend itself very easily against electricity, and it simply just doesn't scale that well. And finally, taking up our number 1 spot is Saryn. Now, Saryn for a very long time has always been a nuking frame, and the nice thing about Saryn is, even though she got nerfed or reworked a couple years ago with Pablo, she still is a very versatile Warframe out there, mainly because not only can she nuke, but also, you know, you can go and nuke a room and heal yourself at the same time if you go and build her correctly. And I'm definitely thinking about now that I should go and do a, you know, revised build on Saryn, mainly because I do want to go and increase the quality of that particular video. If you guys didn't know, making a budget build on Saryn was my very first viral video, and I would link it to you guys, but at the same time I am a little bit shy of doing it, so because some of you guys have actually only recently found me in the year 2022 when I started. I believe it was the year 2019, just before, you know, COVID already started. So there is that. And also Saryn is just a very powerful Warframe, mainly because she can go and infest an entire room with the 2 of the best, you know, elements against most of the Warframes or most of the enemies, and that is viral and corrosive. Corrosive is very good against armor, therefore you'll have no problems taking out the enemies. And the nice thing about viral is mainly because if you guys do hit the enemies with viral first and then you hit them with your secondary, you know, element after, whether it's slash or corrosive or whatever, then viral will just simply go and multiply that damage, allowing you to go and decimate any of the enemies that you'll come across.